Okay, now we start with paper 2. Paper 2, the first question is okay. First question, we have a list of numbers there. Write down a square number which is also a cube number. So here there are no explanations, so we'll say this is 64. Okay, I need the red pen. Okay, so we have 64. It's a square of 8 and it's a cube of 4. Okay, then we go to a multiple of 7. So if you don't know, you just have to check which number is divisible by 7. You can start with the first, second, third, but in this case we have 63. And then a product of 17 and 4. Product means you should multiply. That means if you multiply 17 times 4, the answer is 68. A factor of 248. Again, this is 62, but if you don't know, so just try to divide. A factor means a number should divide into here and get a whole number. So you divide 248 with 60, divide and see which one gives you a whole number. So in this case is 62. Okay, we go to question 2. A container has the dimensions 14.3 centimeters, 2.4 by 9.1. Find the maximum possible volume of the container correct to one decimal place. Now again, we know that volume of an object is the base area times the height or times the length. Like in this case we have a height. So now the base here is a rectangle, so we have length times breadth, and then we multiply with the height. Now that is the volume of a cuboid. This is a cuboid. Okay, now maximum, that means these numbers here, they were rounded to one decimal place. They were not 9.1 or 14.3 or 2.4. They are rounded off numbers. Now for you now to find the maximum, that means we want to find volume UB. Now you can see the formula. This is all multiplication. This means, and we know that for multiplication, upper bound is just upper bound times upper bound. So even if there are 3, so we are going to say the length UB times the breadth UB times the height UB. We are going to multiply the UBs. Okay, and then if we now do that, we'll get the UB and the LB of each number. I will start with 14.3. If they are rounded off to one decimal place, we said it's like this is the first decimal, and if you check the place value is a tenth, which is 0.1. That means we have 0.1, we divide by 2, and then we get 0.05. So on each of these numbers we subtract and add that 0.05. So this one before rounded it was 25, so it means it's 14.25. Like how to get this number, we are going to subtract. To get lower bounds, we subtract from each of these numbers, we subtract 0.5, and to get the upper bounds to these numbers, we are going to add 0.05, and it's from here. This one decimal place is 0.1. If it is 2 decimal places, is 0.001. No, that is 3. 0.01, that is 2 decimal place. 3, we use that. 4, so it goes on like that. That's the number you need to divide by 2. Okay, okay, now this one will be, if I add now that 0.05, I'll have 14.35, and then I go to 9.1. If I subtract, I get 9.05 and 9.15. For 2.4, if I subtract, I'll have 2.35, and if I add, I'll have 2.45. Now to get now the volume, the maximum volume, so we now multiply the length UB, which is 14.35 times the UB of 9.1 is 9.15. Then we multiply with the UB of 2.4 is 2.45. If you multiply we get 321.691125. Now remember, this is exact, it's rounded off. I mean, it's this limit of accuracy. We usually don't round off, but we can, after writing the whole answer, you can now round to 3SF, which is 322. But this is the exact value. Then we move on to the next question. So this is now question 3. Question 3, expand and simplify. Expand means remove brackets, so you multiply out, and here there is nothing to simplify, we don't have like terms there, so multiply to get 2x cubed, and 2x squared times 3y will give us 6x squared y. Then we go to B, expand here. Now here you remove one by one. 2x times 3x, that will give us 6x squared. 2x times 5, that is 10x. Negative 1 times 3x, that gives us negative 3x. And negative 1 times 5 gives us negative 5. Then you now simplify. If you simplify, this will give us 6x squared. 10 minus 3 gives us 7x, and then we say minus 5. Okay, these are unlike terms. Don't commit suicide by simplifying further. Okay, then we go to question 4. Question 4, we have the universal set is given as x such that x is less than 20, and x is an element of real numbers. That means for this, and it's always good when you are given in this term, write down the numbers, like make u as numbers which are less than 20. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. 20 is not included. You can see there is no 20 there. Okay, then A, that is a universal set. Remember, universal can be written as U or with this symbol. Okay, then we go to A. What is A? Okay, no, this one will bring it here. Now we want to list the elements of set A. Now we say A is, as a set, you write it as a set. M is a set, is M such that M is a square number less than 20. M is a square number such that M is less than 20. Now, square numbers less than 20. So we have 1, 4, 9, and 16. These are the only square numbers less than 20. B is what? N such that N is an even number. N is an even number that is less than 20. So we now list out the elements of B. Even numbers less than 20, we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, and 18. Those are the elements of B. And then we go to C. A intersect B. Intersect means what is in A and is also in B. Okay, A intersect B. Which numbers are in A and is also in B? So we only have 4 and 16. Okay, then A union B. A union B means you should combine the elements of A with the elements of B. We start, we have 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14, 16, and 18. Those are the elements if you combine or if you unite A with B. Then we go to E. E is asking for A union B complement. What is not in the union? Remember, this is our union. What is not in A and B, but it's in the universal set. Okay. Now, what is not there in the union here? So we have A union B complement. What is not in this set? Basically, they're just odd numbers. We have 3, 5, 7, 9 is in. Then we have 11, 13, 15, 17, and 19. That is what is not in the union of A and B. Okay, now we need to complete the Venn diagram. Let me just shift this one up. In the now, if first we need to fill in AB, and whatever is not in AB, we put it outside. Okay, now but we start with intersection. What do they have in common? They have 4 and 16. 4 and 16, we write them here. Okay, now what is left? Now remember, our set of A had 1, 4, 9, and 16. Now 4 and 16 are already here. What is left is 1 and 9. That means 1 and 9, we write them in here. They are elements of A, 1 and 9. So that the set of A, we have 1, 4, 9, and 16 complete. Okay, then what do I put in B? B, we have 2, 4, all these numbers, but we can already see 4 and 16 are already in. What is left is what you put in B alone. So you have 2, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, and 18. Because 4 and, remember the elements are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, and 18. Then they are complete. Now, what is not in the union, we put it outside. That means whatever is not here, let's put outside. That means these numbers are out. So the 3, the 5, the 7, the 11, the 13, the 15, the 17, the 19. We put them outside. Those that are not in the union, we put them the complements outside. Okay. I think we are done with that one. Go to question. This page 3, question 4. Okay, next. Okay, next we have okay, we have question. Sorry. Okay. That's this one. Okay, we have question 6. Did I miss it? I think there's question 5 missing. Okay, I think there's a page omitted here. Okay, question 5 is omitted, so I will do that one at the end. So I'll go to question 6. Question 6, we have a cube. So determine the number of vertices. Vertices are corners, like how many corners are on this cuboid. We have 1, 2, not cuboid but cube. 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the top. Then we have 5, 6, 7, and 8 on the other side. So here we have 8 vertices. Edges are where these straight lines. These are what we call the edges of a shape. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 on the other side, 11, and 12. So we have 12 edges of this. So the edges, I repeat, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 the bottom there, 10, then 11, and 12 the bottom that side. Faces are like faces. Which face? We have 1, the top face, the bottom face, this face and the other side, this face and on the other side. So we have 6 faces. Okay, then we go to question 6b. Construct a triangle XYZ where XY is 8. So now with this one, let me see if I can draw this 8. Okay, so I have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. It's only up to here, so I need to erase. Where's the eraser? Okay, undo. Okay, just okay. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay, so there's a part that needs to go off. Okay, so that is my 8, and then I label it. But that is, remember how we construct? You draw a longer line. Okay, let me just extend this one. Okay, wait. Okay, let me just draw a longer line, and then from there what you do, you set your compass. I don't have a compass here, I don't know how to get it, so you set your compass to 8, put your point maybe somewhere here, and then make an arc this side, and then you also make an arc this side. Where you put the marks, that is your x, and the other one is your y. Okay, then from there you set your compass to 7, you put that is now y z. If this is x and that is y, let me just remove this. Let's say after making your arcs, let's say the first arc maybe is here and the second arc maybe is here, so this is your point x and this one here is your point y. Then you now take your compass again and set it to 7. This is actually y. Okay, this is y. And then after you put it at 7, so 7 should be from y, so that means you put your pin here and you make an arc for 7. Then you take it to 6, you make you put it x, and then you make an arc for 6, and then where your arcs meet, that is where your z is. You just join z to x, and then you join your z to y, like that. And then now you need to measure angle z xy. Is this angle, you need to measure this angle. Again, I don't have a protractor here. You put the center at x, your line 180 should be in this line, and then you read from here up to there, and that is what you write, that is your angle. Okay, then we go to the next question. That is now question 7. Express this as a single logarithm. Now, single logarithm means these are now 3. You just need to write it as 1. Now, you need to apply the laws of logarithms. When there is a plus, it means you should multiply the 2. If there is a minus, it means you should divide. Okay. Now, first I'm going to do this. So it's a plus. Plus goes with a multiplication. That means I have log x cube. I multiply with x square, y square, then minus. We just do 2 at a time. Xy cube. Then if I expand here, so I have log, this will give me x power 5, you plus the powers, y square minus log x y cube. Okay, now from there, okay, this is a square, né? Square, just want to write it nice. This square. Okay, then now there's a minus. Minus means you should divide. That means you have log x power 5 y square over x y cube. Then you simplify. If you simplify here, this x will cancel with one of the 5. That means you only have log x to the power 4. This y2 cancel with 2 of the bottom. That means bottom you have only one y. That's, we are done. Now express y in terms of x. If, can you see that this whole thing here is the same as this one? You just, and how we simplified, we ended up with this. That means we just equate this part to 0. So this whole thing is the same as that, just as a single logarithm. So we'll have log x power 4 over y equals to 0. Now you can only solve a logarithmic equation if you have logs on both sides. So you need to express 0 as a logarithm also. So that is log x power 4 over y equals to log 1. Remember, log 1 is the same as 0. Okay, now the logs cancel out, then you are left with x power 4 over y equals to 1. 1 you can write it as a fraction as well. Then you cross multiply to have y equals to 1 times x power 4 is just x power 4. Therefore, y equals x power 4. I have written a y in terms of x. Okay, then we go to question 8. The third term of a GP geometric progression is 10 and the sixth term is 80. Find the common ratio. So here first you write the formulas. So the nth term, Tn, the nth term of a GP is given by Tn. Tn is given by a r to the power n minus 1. That is the nth term formula. Now if you want to find term 3, so you say T3 equals to AR, where there is n, you have 3 minus 1, and you know that this 10th term should be 10. A third term should be 10. You equate it to 10, which means A to the power AR to the power 2 equals to 10. This is your first equation. Then you go to the sixth term. T6 is AR to the power 6 minus 1, and that should give you 80. So which means A r to the power 5 equals to 80. This is your second equation. From there, you just divide your equation 2 with equation 2, because equation 1. Because you have GP, it's about common ratio. Therefore, we need to divide. If it was arithmetic, then you know that you need to get a common difference. You subtract. So now here you say T6 over T3. So which is AR power 5 equals to 80. This you divide with AR square. This you divide with 10. And then you get what? A and A cancel out. R square cancel with 2 of the 5. R cube is left. So you have R cube equals to 8. To get R, you cube root. That means our R is 2. So our common ratio is 2. Then the first term you can use the first one is easier. Then you can say A, remember our AR square equals to 10. Remember our R is 2, so you have A times 2 square equals to 10. 2 square is 4, therefore you have 4A equals to 10. Divide by 4, then you have that your first term is 2.5 or 5 over 2 or 2.5. Okay, the sum of the first 7 terms, the sum formula for the GP is A r power n minus 1 over r minus 1. Okay, so you just substitute. S is 7, S7, sum of the 7, that means your n is 7, our A is 2.5, and then R is 2, and then power 7 minus 1, and then over 2 minus 1. If you simplify this, you will get 317.5. Or if you forgot the formula, you can as well do the first term. Remember you can say or you can say the first term is 2.5. Remember the common ratio is what? The common ratio is 2. You keep multiplying by 2. That means times 2. Times 2, the next one is 5. Times 2 is 10. Times 2 is 20. Times 2 is 40. Times 2 is 80. Times 2 is 160 times 2. Like that. Then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are your 7. Then you plus. They should give you the same answer also. Next question. Okay, next question we have solve. Okay, solving this one. There is no a number next to the bracket, means there is a 1. So just remove the bracket. You have 2y. Negative 1 times y is negative y. Negative 1 times negative 7 is positive 7 equals to 15. This one will give you y plus 7 equals to 15. Collect like terms. So y is 15 minus 7. So meaning that our y is 8. Okay, then the next one, this is a quadratic equation. The easiest way, if you can factorize, for me it's easier, I can factorize, but use the quadratic formula, because here you are not told which method you should use. Okay, so the easier way, you say y is negative b plus minus root of b square minus 4ac everything over 2a. Then you just substitute. This is your a. Your a is 1, your b is 2, and your c is negative 15. Then you just substitute. You have negative 2 plus, because this is positive, negative is 2 there, plus minus 2 square minus 4 times 1 times negative 15 everything over 2. Then you press this whole thing on your calculator. So you should get your two values. One is 3 and one is negative 5. Okay, this one again, you solve. You either make one side as a single fraction. Either you work with this side or you take the one with x on the other side. I'm going to do that. I have 1 equals 3 over x plus 7 over x minus 3, just to have the one with x on one side. This side I'll have 1 over 1, just to make it as a fraction as well, equals. Now here I have different denominators, which means I should multiply this whole equation by x minus 3, and this whole, not equation, but this whole fraction with x minus 3, and this whole fraction with x. If I do that, I'll have 3 times x plus, times x minus 3, and then down I have x times x minus 3. I have done with that. I'm done with that equation, with that fraction. Then I multiply this fraction by x, which means I have 7 times x and x minus 3 also times x. Okay, if I continue, I'll have this is 1 over 1 equals, if I expand here, I'll have 3x minus 9, okay, over x. Okay, I'll just expand there also. So I have x square minus x, minus 3 minus 3x. This one, if I multiply, I'll have 7x also over x square minus 3x. Now I have same denominators, I just add the top. So I have 1 over 1 equals 3x plus 7x, that gives me 10x minus 9 over x square minus 3x. Cross multiply. If I cross multiply times 1, it will not change. So this implies that I have x square minus 3x equals to 10x minus 9, and then I have x square minus 3x minus 10x. I bring everything to one side, plus 9 equals to 0, and that will give me what? X square minus 13x plus 9 equals to 0. Okay, and then if I now solve with the formula, I'll have x equals negative 13 plus minus negative 13 square minus 4 times 1 times 9 everything over 2 by 1. Okay, if I solve that one, if I use my calculator, I'll have negative, I think just 13 plus root of 13 square minus 4 times 1 times 9 over 2 times 1. Okay, so I get one value of x is 12.266, or if I put a minus, and then I have x is 0.7337, so I'll have 12 point to 2 decimal place is 27, and the other one will be 0.73. Okay. Okay, then we go on to question 10. Okay, then question 10. Calculate the value of x. Where is x? X is here. Okay, so x, there are two ways you can do that. You either add these two together. Okay, get this angle first. If you add these two together, then subtract from 180. You can also say 180 minus 48 minus 78. That gives us that gives 54. So this one will give us 54. Then you can say, now these two are on a straight line. You can say, so x is 180 minus 54, and that gives us 126 degrees. So x is 126. Or you can say, if this is a triangle, if you have a triangle like that, the angle outside is the sum of these two. You just add up these two. Or you can say is x is 48 plus 78. Still get the same answer. Okay, then to get y is here. Now if you look at this is co-interior. These two should give you 180. Okay, hope you saw that. Okay, so co-interior, this whole thing should give you 180. So you can either say 180 minus 78 plus 48, and that gives you 54. Or you can see, if you get this one, then you can say they are alternate. So y, this angle and this angle, they are alternate, and then you can say it's also 54. Okay, to the next question. So if I'm too fast here, this is a recorded lesson. You can always ask the teacher who is supervising you to take back a slide, like maybe a certain question did not get well, so you should always just ask the teacher to do that for you. Okay, so question 11. Express this in this form. This is a completing of a square. How do we complete a square? First, we check if this is 1. Like in this case, we are lucky it's 1. So what we do, we just halve our b, square it, add it before c, subtract it after c. So our half, we have -6/2 square. That gives us 9. That means before c, we add 9. After c, we subtract 9. So we have x squared minus 6x plus 9 plus 8 minus 9. Then this is now a complete square. So that means we now say this is x minus, because there's a minus. What was our b over 2? Our b over 2, this is b divided by 2, you get 3. Then you square it. Then the answer to 8 minus 9 is -1. So this one is written as x minus 3 square minus 1. Okay. Then the next question, it's a bit tricky because we did not really do something similar in class, but it's not difficult to sketch the curve. Sketching, you don't really have to draw a table. When you sketch, just make it a bit. Now when you sketch, you only, because we are told to state the coordinate of the turning point and state the points where the curve crosses the axis. Axis means now, like this is our x-axis and this is our y-axis. Where will the curve cross the y and where will the curve cross the x? Now for y is easy. This is our y-intercept. We know it to cut at 8. But to get the x-intercept, we need to make this equation equal to 0. Then we solve for x to know where the graph will cut the x-axis. I repeat, to get where the curve will cut the y-axis, this is your C. Yeah, remember this is A, our A, our B, our C. Our C is still the y-intercept. This curve will cut y at 8. Now, to get where the curve will cut the x-axis, remember any number on the x-axis, any number can be here, can be here, can be anywhere. Y is 0. Y will always be 0. That means we will say x squared minus 6x plus 8 equals to 0. To get what is the value of x when y is 0. You solve this equation. Okay? You can factorize, you can use the formula. So for me, I'm going to factorize. My two numbers are x minus, that is 8 and 6. So I have 8 minus 4 and 2, x minus 4. And x plus 2 equals to 0. I hope so. That is negative. Both are negative because this is positive and that is minus. So this one is going to be minus also. So I have minus. Okay. So which means x minus 4 equals to 0 or x minus 2 equals to 0. So x is either 4 or x is 2, which means this curve will cut x at 4 and also x at 2. Now what you do, let me just erase these points that I marked here. Okay, now I'm going to mark the 8. I'm going to mark, okay, let's say this is 2, 3, maybe 4 is here. I know these points. I know the curve will come through here. It will also pass through here. It will also pass through here. Now I know the y and the x-intercept. From there, what I do, I get the turning point. Now, since we have already written our turning point, I mean our equation in this form, our trinomial in this form, the number here, this one, this part here gives you the x turning point, and the number here gives you the y coordinate of the turning point. In other words, if you are given in this form, this part here is the x coordinate of the turning point, and q is your y coordinate of the turning point. Okay, now let me go back here. Now if I now want to get the turning point, I will make this equal to 0. The turning point, to get the turning point, so I will say x minus 3 equals to 0, which implies that the x coordinate of the turning point is 3, and y is just negative 1. That means the turning point is 3, negative 1. Now on my graph, I go to 3 is somewhere here. Let me just put 3, and then I'll put negative 1 here. So the turning point will be here. Okay, now now what I do, I just draw my curve from here coming to 10, and then now this will be the axis of symmetry, will be the line of symmetry. Now from here, from this is 3, this is 3 blocks. From here to here is 3. That means from here I should also have 3. So from here, if this is 3, 4, the next number will be a 6 here. That means 6 will have the same coordinate as this one. So from here I just 10 and then go. Okay, this is ugly. Okay, and then I just go pass through here and go like that. This should be corresponding to the 6, so that you have your axis of symmetry. This one, your curve should be symmetrical. I don't know if you get it. So to sketch, I'm gonna go back to sketch. To sketch, you need to know where your curve will cut the y-axis, and also to know where your curve will cut the x-axis. To know where the curve will cut the y-axis, you just look at C. If your C is 2, you mark that point 2. To get the x-intercept, you make your equation equals to 0 to solve for x. Then when you get x, you mark it, those two values of x you get, you mark. To get the turning point, you write your equation. You write your equation in a completed square form, and then this part here you equate it to 0. Then you solve for x. The number which will be here, if it is positive, if it's plus, that means your y coordinate is positive. If it is minus, your y coordinate is negative. And then you just write that as a coordinate. Then you mark it also. Then you just draw your curve. But make sure the x coordinate of the turning point is also the same as the line of symmetry for your curve. Then your gaps, the gap from here to the line of symmetry should be the same as from here to where the other point is. And then you just mark it, then you draw your nice curve. It's a sketch, doesn't have to be accurate. Or you can as well just construct the points. You can get a table, then make points, get the x values. But now where would you start with the x value? Anywhere you can start. You can start from 0, you can start from negatives. But now that will not be a sketch, it will be to scale. So, but a sketch, you just indicate where the graph cut the y-axis, where the graph cut the x-axis, where the turning point is. And to get a turning point, you use that completed square. Complete the square first, equate this part to 0, get the x coordinate. Your y coordinate is just that. Then from there, you just plot your points, and then you draw your curve. I hope you get that. So I'm gonna move from here. I hope if you don't get it, you always have to come back. Okay. Then the next question. Okay, the next question is 12. So you have a container. A sweet container is made up in a form of a cone. The slant height L of the cone is 6. That means this is our L. Okay, and the radius is 3. Find the vertical height of the cone. The vertical is something like this. Okay, well, let me just draw nicely. Draw okay, not here. Just want to draw a ruler. With a ruler, just erase this one. Okay, just want to use a ruler to draw. Okay, I'll just use that to draw a line from here. Okay, not so straight. Okay, but it's not so straight. It's supposed to go through like that. This is the vertical height. Now, if you can see, that is a right angle triangle. You see that? This is 6 and this is 3, so you want to get this. You use Pythagoras theorem. So you say our height is the square root of 6 square minus 3 square, and that gives us how much? 5 point. Okay, we can say it's 3 root 3, which is 5.2023 SF. Okay, and then calculate the surface area of the curved part of a cone. Now remember, for a cone, if I want to find the surface area, it should be the curved part plus the circle. Now if you check the total surface area of a cone, this represents the curved part, this one, that is represented by that. And then this represents now the circle. Okay, but now we don't want the circle. We don't want the circle. We just want the okay, we just want the curved part. So which means in our formula we are not going to use this because this is a circle. We just want the curved. So now what we do, we just use that formula. We say the curved, the surface area of the curved is pi r L. Now remember the L, this is our L. The L is 6. The height is the one which is 5 point something, but the L is the 6. So what we do now, we just substitute. We have pi, our R is 3, and our L is 6, and that gives 18 pi. And if you write it as a decimal, you get 56.523 SF 0.5. Okay, and we go next question. Okay, the next question, we have 2 points A and B that are joined in a form of a straight line AB. Find the length, the gradient of the line. Gradient is m, is change in y, we divide with change in x. Either you say 7 minus 6 over 1 minus 5, or 6 minus 7 over 5 minus, as long as you do, if you subtract b minus a, it should be for both coordinates. Okay, so I'm going to say this is 7 minus 6 over 1 minus 5, and that gives me negative 1 over 4. So the gradient here is negative 1 over 4. Okay, find the equation of the line AB in this form. Okay, now remember, equation of a line, a straight line, is y equals mx plus c. Now we know the gradient, but we don't know what is c. So we either use point A or point B to get c. If I use point A, which is 1,7, it means my y is 7, my gradient is negative 1 over 4, x is 1. So times 1, and then plus c. So 7 equals to negative 1 over 4 plus c, which implies that c is 7 plus 1 over 4, which gives me 29 over 4. So therefore my equation becomes y equals negative 1 over 4x plus 29 over 4. Now this is in the form of y equals to mx plus c. We need to write it in this form. That means you can see this is same denominator. We can just add up the top. So this implies that I have y equals negative x plus 29 over 4. Put over 1, cross multiply. So you have 4y equals negative x plus 29. But you can see all the terms are on one side. So you have 4y plus x minus 29 equals to 0. Then the one with x is first. That means x should be written first. X plus 4y minus 29 equals to 0. That is our answer. Okay, then we have B. Okay, the line AB intersects with the line this at point C. Find the coordinates of point C. Now this is our equation. Either you use this equation, or you use this one. So whichever one you use, you substitute where there's y, you substitute that, then you solve for x. So if I use the final one, so I have x plus 4y minus 29 equals to 0, but I know that y is negative x plus 20. So where there's y, I substitute that. So I have x plus 4 times negative x plus 20 minus 29 equals to 0. Then I have x minus 4x plus 80 minus 29 equals to 0. And then that gives me negative 3x, this is 51, equals to 0. then I have negative 3x equals negative 51 divided by negative 3. Then you get that x is, if you divide, you get 17. You get 17. Then to get y, you say y is negative x plus 20. So x is 17. So you have y equals to negative 17 plus 20. So y is 3. So therefore C is a coordinate 17, 3. Okay. Then we move on to C. Find the equation of the line through A which is perpendicular to AB. Now we know that the gradient of AB is negative 1 over 4. So therefore the gradient of the perpendicular, we reciprocate, it's just 4, because one of them should be positive and one should be negative, so it's 4. If I put this over 1, it becomes just 4. So now if it is through A, and A is the coordinate 1,7, so we are going to say y equals to mx plus c, that is the equation of a straight line. Our y is 7, our m is 4, our x is 1, then we say plus c. So 7 equals to 4 plus c, which implies that our c is 7 minus 4, so our c is 3. So therefore this equation is y equals mx plus c. Our m is 4 and our c is 3, so therefore our equation is 4x plus 3. Okay, we go to the question. Okay, we are given the matrix, so calculate the determinant of the matrix. Determinant means this time is that minus this time is that. Okay, so I have 6 by 2 minus 0 times negative 1, and that just gives me 12. So the determinant of m is 12. Okay, then I go to the inverse. How do we get the inverse? So we multiply 1 over the determinant times, we swap, if you remember. So we get the inverse of m. M inverse will be 1 over 12, and then we swap these two, so we'll have a 2 here. These two, they just change signs, so that means this becomes positive 1. This is just 2, just 0, 0 has no sign, and this is a 6 here. Then if we multiply out to get 2 over, if I multiply 1 over 12 times 2, I will get 1 over 6. If I multiply this by that, I will just get 1 over 12. If I multiply this by that, I get 0. If I multiply this by that, I get a half. And that is the inverse of m. Okay, then I use the matrix method to solve. Now remember to solve simultaneous equation using matrices. So we write the coefficients just numbers. That means there's a 1 here. This is also a 1. This is also a 1. This is a negative 1. Okay, we multiply with xy. This should give us 6, 2. Right? That is in the matrix form. Okay. Now, what we are now going to do, we now need to, let's say this is A, matrix A, and this is matrix B. Sorry, it's X that we don't know because we don't know that one. Sorry. Okay, let me just do. Okay. Now I'll say this is X because I don't know it, and that is B. Now what I don't know, I will now say A times X should give me B. Okay. Now I need to multiply with this. I need to multiply this with its inverse to get an identity. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to rewrite as 1 1. Sorry, I have let me just erase this. If I multiply this with an inverse, I get an identity, which is just 1. Now what I'm going to do, I'll get the inverse of this, which is now going to be, first I get the determinant, which is negative 1 minus the product of this is 1. So let me say this is now the determinant of A. Okay, and that gives me negative 2. So the inverse of A is going to be now 1 over negative 2. We multiply, swap this, becomes that, change the signs of this, becomes negative 1, and that is 1. Okay, and then this will give me what? This will give me a half. This is also a half, this is also a half, and this is negative a half. Okay, now this I need now to multiply. If I multiply now the inverse times this, that should give me an identity, which is just what I don't know, so which is x. So I'm going to multiply this by 6, 2, and that should give me xy, but I don't know. Okay, now remember how we multiply. We multiply row by column. So I multiply this whole row with this column. Okay, so if I multiply here, I will have a half of 6 plus a half of 2. So I'm going to continue this one here. Sorry, I'm going to take this one and multiply here. Okay, so I'll have a half of 6, which is 3, plus a half of 2, which is 1. That means I have 3 plus 1, and then I'll have a half of 6 again, plus a half of this, that will be 3 minus 1. Okay, equals to xy. So if I add here, I'll have 4. If I add here, I'll have a 2, equals to xy, which means x is 4. X is 4 and y is 2. Okay, then the next question. Question 15. I have town A is 30 kilometers away from town C and 60 kilometers from town B. Okay, calculate angle BAC. We want to get this angle. Now, as you can see, to get this, either we use SOHCAHTOA, or we use sin rule, or we use cosine rule to get angles. But SOHCAHTOA is only for right angle triangles, but you can see this triangle is not a right angle triangle. That means we can either use sin or cosine rule. But when do we use sin? That's when we have a complete set. Remember, a complete set, you have an angle and the opposite, or angle and opposite, or angle and opposite. But in this case, we don't have any complete. Therefore, we can only use cosine rule. Okay, now what does the cosine rule states? Okay, the opposite of this, which is 8 squared, that means I'll say 8 squared equals to the arms, which is 60 squared plus 30 squared minus 2 times 60 times 30 cos of angle A. And then you work out, you work that one out, you will have 6,400 equals, get this sum, that is 4,500 minus, if you multiply here, you have 3,600 cos A. Collect like terms, this one should come here, so you have 64 minus 45 equals to negative 3 6 cos A. If you subtract here, you have 1.9, 1900 equals to negative 3 6 cos A. Divide by negative 3 6, divide by negative 3 6, and then you have cos A equals negative 19 over 36. To get A, you cos inverse, you go to shift and then cos negative 19 over 36, and then you get your answer as 121.855. Angles are given to 1 dp, so that is 0.9. Okay, now but make sure your calculator is on degree mode, not R. There should be D on the screen. Okay, then to find the area, like I said, this is not a right angle triangle, so in the formula for non-right angle triangle, area is given by a half the two arms in which you know the angle. In this case, our two arms, I cannot use these two because I don't know this angle. I cannot use these two also, I don't know this angle. The only angle I know is the one that I calculated here, and I know the arms. So now I'm going to say a half of 60 times 30 times sin of angle 120. I'm not going to use the rounded off answer, I'm going to use 0.853, the one with more decimals. And then if I do that one, I'm going to get I get 764.4 to 3SF is 764. Okay, you can see the unit there is written square centimeters, but you can just make it kilometers, square kilometers. Okay, then we have okay, unfortunately this question I'm just gonna work out the angles because I cannot use my protractor here. I don't know if you'll be able to see, but I'll try. Okay, we have a survey of 240 learners that was carried out in a school to compare the popularity of 4 different subjects. Okay, we have the information here. So biology, we have 60 learners, history 50, mathematics we don't know, and geography we know it's 50, but we know the total should be 240. Now we need to complete the table. Now if I know that the total number of learners is 240, I know for biology, for history, and for geography, I add all these together, subtract from 240. That means mathematics should have 80. Okay, so now what you do, you add these 3 together, so you have 60 plus 50 plus 50, that is 160, and then you have 240 minus 160, that gives you 80. Mathematics is popular. Okay, then we have the sectors. How do we get the sectors? So we go to biology, is the 60 out of what? Out of 240. The total pi has 360. Then you calculate, you get that the angle for biology is 90 degrees. For history is 50 out of 240. We multiply with 360, and then we get for history as 75 degrees. And then the famous mathematics, we have 80 over 240 times 360, and that gives us 120 degrees. And geography, we have 50 out of 240, we multiply with 360, and that is the same as for history, is 75 degrees. Now what you do, you take your protractor to draw. The radius is already given. Let me just see if I can find my protractor. Okay, that's one. Okay, so what you do, you place your protractor on, I don't know if you'll be able to see. Then you measure, the first one is 90 degrees, you mark that 90, and then you take your ruler and you join. Okay, this 90 degrees is not accurate. Then you label it biology, or you label with an angle which is 90. Okay, just remove this one. Okay. Then the next one, you go to, again, now start where you stopped with the 90. So you just measure 75, which is somewhere here. Oops. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna use a different angle. So I have 75 somewhere here, 75 somewhere here. Okay, and then I take my ruler and just join the 75 to the center. I'm not gonna start from there, so it's somewhere here, and then that is history. Then from there I have measure 75 here, see if it will be within. 75 is somewhere here. And that means the remaining one is for mathematics, which is 120. So I'll have something like that. Okay. And then I write this as S, geography. And then this one, it means I don't even have to measure it, that is for mathematics. But if you want to, or you can label with angles, but don't just draw the sectors, you should label the sectors either with the angles or with, but in this case, if you label with angles, there are two subjects with the same angle. It's better if you label with the name of the subjects, right? Then we go to the next learners. What did I do? That is the last question. Okay. That is blank. The next question is question 17. Okay. Question 17. We have the minimum temperature in a village that were recorded over a period of 10 nights. So find the median first before you decide on which one. Median is in the middle. So what you do, so you rearrange first. So start either from the smallest to the biggest, or from the biggest to the smallest. So if I start from the lowest temperature, I will have -5 followed by -3, three of them, and then I have -2, -1, then I have 2, 3, 4, 6. So these numbers were 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I need to count if mine are also 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then I know I have all of them. Now 10, I need to count for this side and for that side. So that means I have two middle numbers. So if there are 2, we add them up. So we have -2 plus -1 over 2. If you now divide, you will get -1.5 degrees Celsius as the median. Okay, but just put this as it appears on the calculator: -1 plus -1, so -2 plus -1, everything over 2. Don't just do without the fraction, otherwise get -3 first and divide with 2. The temperature range is the highest temperature minus the lowest temperature. highest is 6, lowest is -5, and that gives us 11 degrees Celsius. The mean, you add them up together, 3 plus 2 plus -2 plus -1 plus -3 plus 4 plus 6 plus -5 plus -3 plus -3. Again, count if you have put all of them: 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. And when you use the negative, use the negative sign, the one like this on your calculator, not the minus. There's a difference between negative and minus. How many temperatures are these? There are 10. And then if you divide, you will get negative 0.2. Excuse me. Okay, then we go to D. The probability, find the probability that the minimum temperature is less than 0. Less than 0 means they are negative. How many are negative? 1 2 3 4 5 6. There are 6. Probability less than 0 is 6 out of the 10, or you can say is 3/5, or 0.6. Then we go to question 18. Question 18. On a particular Saturday, the length of the time people spent on shopping was recorded at Oshana Mall, that is in Angudiva. Complete the table for frequency density correct to 1 decimal place. How do we get frequency density? Frequency density is the frequency we divide with the class width. Class width is like this minus that, 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 and then until we get the final answer. Like here, if you divide 11 by 15, because the gap here is 15, the gap here is 5. Like here, the gap is 15, here the gap is 5, here the gap is 25, here the gap is 40, no, 35. 35, and here the gap is 20. Now you divide 11 with 15, you get 0.7 to 1 decimal place. 24 you divide by 5, you get 4.8. 48 you divide by 25, you get that 1.9. 40 you divide by 35, you get 1.1. And 35 you divide by 20, you get 1.8. And then you have the your table completed. Then the model, remember, of with a normal frequency, model is the most one that has higher frequency, but now in this case the one with the highest frequency density is the model, and in this case is the model is 15, because this is unequal interval, so it's 15 less than t less than 20, less or equals to 20. That is the model with the highest frequency density. Right, to the table. So we draw 0 to 5 and 0 to 15. We plot it against 0.7. 15 to 20 is 4.8. 20 to 45 we have 1.9, and 45 to 80 1.1, and 80 to 100 is 1.8. Okay, let's go back to the graph. Next one, we have a graph where we need to draw the bars. Okay, I have sorry. Okay, I hope you can see. Can I update this? Okay, now we need to to draw a frequency density. Let me just go. Okay, open. Now so we go from 0 to 15. 15 is here, so you draw your bar 0 to 15, and the height should be 0.7. So this is 0.5, 0.6, 0.7 is somewhere here. Then you draw it like that. That is your first bar. And then you have 15 to 20, that is 4.8. 15 to 20 is only up to here. Then we go 4.8. Okay, 4.5, 0.6, 0.7, 0.8 is here. You just draw your bar with that. Sorry, not straight. Okay, this is try, because now the ruler is thick, but I hope you understand. Okay, then you throw it like that. This is your bar. And then we have 20 to 45. 45 is until here. That is 1.9, just before 10. 1.9 is this one. Sorry, not there, but 1.9 before 2. And then you go until 45. Then you just come down like that. Okay, and then you go to 45 to 80. 45 to 80, you go until 80. Till 80, that is 1.1. Just one bar above 1. One bar above 1. It's 1.1. And then 20 to 100. 80 to 100. That's 1.8. 2 lines before 2. Okay, 0.8. Sorry, like that. Oops. Okay. To 100. It's up to 100 only. Then you draw like that. That's your histogram. And that's the end. I wish you all the best and good luck with other subjects. Bye bye. Take care.